beginning of the Civil War and of the FARC was a combined U.S.-Colombia assault on these independent republics. And that took place in 1964, and that led to the creation of the FARC. The significance is, as you say, that it ended the longest-running civil war in the world. So, but then ever since 1964, we have alternatively claimed we were there to fight guerrillas, and we were there to fight drugs. But of course, if you look at the numbers, the drug numbers have actually gone up. In fact, when I was in Colombia in March, and I was at the U.S. Embassy, and there was a bit of chaos going on, and they said that the CIA had come down, the FBI, because they said they were going to have to answer for the fact that last year was a bumper crop for Colombia. After $10 billion we put in there to fight drugs, the drugs were at an all-time high, right? And now, of course, the FARC is gone as a military organization. They've now disarmed. So now what is the justification? I don't think they've given us one yet. I think they're working on what the new justification is going to be, though I do think part of it will be Venezuela.
And astoundingly, you have corporate media outlets actually, of course, not only are they censoring the reality in Colombia, but then they say Venezuela, right, is the biggest humanitarian crisis in the world. Trade unionists are in more danger in Venezuela than anywhere else, right? Some
Right.
NPR report actually came out with that. I mean, talk about the contradictions, right? The dichotomy of coverage when it comes to humanitarian issues and violence on these neighboring countries.
Yeah, well, I think it is very important to point that out because you have these two countries that are side by side. Colombia, which, as you know, is the top ally of the U.S. in the region. Then you have Venezuela, which is, since 1999, been trying to go its own independent course, right? In regards to Colombia, which, again, on numerous factors, has the worst, I believe, the worst human rights in the hemisphere when you look at the number of disappearances, greater than any country, greatest internally displaced population, greatest number of human rights leaders killed, greatest number of trade unionists killed, greatest number of priests killed. You can go down the line. And yet, there's almost a total media blackout on Colombia. Meanwhile, next door, Venezuela, anything bad that happens is at the top of the news cycle, right? To the extent trade unionists are being killed, they're generally Chavista trade union leaders that are being killed by opposition forces, right? They're not being killed by government forces. And yet this is all obscured in the mass media in this country.